Hi there, everyone. Welcome to The Daily Gardener. I'm your host, Jennifer Ebling. It's June 19th. Irises are in full bloom right now. Bearded iris and Siberian iris are two of the most common types of irises grown, although there are around 300 species of iris. Iris takes its name from the Greek word for rainbow. During the Middle Ages, irises were linked to the French monarchy, and the fleur-de-lis is now a recognized national symbol of France. Here's today's brevities. It was on this day in 1820 that the botanist Joseph Banks died in England. Banks is best known for his study of Australian flora and fauna in his role as botanist on the Endeavour with Captain James Cook. When Banks returned from Australia, he advised George III on the creation of the Royal Botanic Gardens, also known as Kew. 20 years after the death of Joseph Banks, the Raphael of flowers, Pierre-Joseph Redouté, died. He was known for his watercolors of roses and lilies, and he's often referred to as the greatest botanical illustrator of all time. Redoute was the official court draftsman to Queen Marie Antoinette. One evening, around midnight, she summoned him to appear before her, and she asked him to paint her a cactus. Redoute also became a favorite of Josephine Bonaparte, and his paintings of her flowers at Malmaison are some of his finest works. And it was on this day in 1872 that the English horticulturalist, landscape designer, and botanist Theodore Payne was born. He made his way from England to California, and he was an early advocate for California's native plants. He started his own seed business in 1903 in downtown Los Angeles, and his specialty was California native wildflower seeds, bulbs, and plants. Payne was involved in the creation of many native plant gardens. In 1939, he created one at the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, where he used 178 plant species, all native to California. And it was Theodore Payne who said, "Be a good Californian, be loyal to your own state, and keep your landscape Californian by planting trees from California." And it's the birthday of Elbert Green Hubbard, born on this day in 1856. He was a writer, an artist, and a philosopher. Among Hubbard's many publications was a piece he wrote about the founder of the Burpee Seed Company called The Business of Distributing Flower Seeds. And it was Elbert Hubbard who gave us these marvelous quotes. "Our finest flowers are often weeds transplanted. A single rose can be my garden, a single friend, my world. To me, flowers are happiness. If I had but 2 loaves of bread, I would sell one of them and buy white hyacinths to feed my soul. Without love, the world would only echo cries of pain. The sun would only shine to show us grief. Each rustle of the wind among the leaves would be a sigh, and all the flowers fit only to garland graves." Elbert Hubbard and his wife Alice died in 1915. They were on a ship called the Lusitania when it was sunk by a German submarine off the coast of Ireland. In unearthed words, it's the anniversary of the death of the author of Peter Pan, James Matthew Barrie. Barrie was inspired by Kensington Gardens. In 1912, he commissioned Sir George Frampton to build the statue of Peter Pan that's been a favorite of visitors to the park ever since. Gardens and flowers were a tremendous source of inspiration for Barrie. The following are just a few samples of his garden-inspired prose. There's almost nothing that has such a keen sense of fun as a fallen leaf. The unhappy hook was as impotent as he was damp, and he fell forward like a cut flower. All children, except one, grow up. They soon know that they will grow up, and the way Wendy knew was this. One day, when she was 2 years old, she was playing in a garden, and she plucked another flower and ran with it to her mother. I suppose she must have looked rather delightful, for Mrs. Darling put her hand to her heart and cried, "Oh, why can't you remain like this forever?" This was all that passed between them on the subject, but henceforth Wendy knew that she must grow up. You always know after you are 2. 2 is the beginning of the end. Today's book recommendation is The Reader's Digest, New Encyclopedia of Garden Plants and Flowers. This is one of my favorite resources. It was published back in 1997. Brand new, this book is almost $200, but you can get used copies following the link in today's show notes on Amazon for just under $8. For today's garden chore, it's time to get some new work gloves. Just this past week, I was looking for new garden gloves, and I scoured the options around town, and I found my favorite new pair at Home Depot. And best of all, they were just $9.99. I think they're the perfect amount of toughness and dexterity, and they fit. If you jump online at Home Depot, you can find them by searching for General Purpose Glove Firm Grip. They're yellow, black, and gray. They're great. Finally, here's something sweet to revive the little botanic spark in your heart. Today's the anniversary of the death of the American actress and film star of the 1930s and 40s, Jean Arthur. I recently ran across the most delightful picture of Jean, and she's wearing this blouse. It's a graphic blouse. It's covered with pictures of turnips, and then across the upper right shoulder are the words Victory Garden. During World War II, people were asked to plant victory gardens, and the Victory Garden fashion scene was born. I ran across one advertisement for a blouse and skirt with a free package of seeds, and it said, "Blossom forth, plant seeds in your victory garden, and look like a flower yourself in this outfit." The blouse was selling for $2.25, and the skirt was $2.98. Thanks for listening to The Daily Gardener. And remember, for a happy, healthy life, garden every day. The Daily Gardener is produced weekdays in lovely Maple Grove, Minnesota. You can find complete show notes over at thedailygardener.org. And be sure to share the show with your garden friends. You can find The Daily Gardener on all your favorite social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, and of course, Facebook. While you're over at Facebook, don't forget to join the Daily Gardener community. Just search for these 3 words, Daily Gardener Community. The group will pop right up and then request to join. Finally, I want to thank my team at Podfly Productions, where my fabulous editor is Eric Begay. Have a great day in the garden, and we'll see you tomorrow.